Hello again, everyone. Edwin Learnard back once again. In this YouTube astrological segment, I'm going to be talking about Eros in the 10th house in a natal chart. Now, Eros in astrology can be about what we have that very powerful, perhaps near unconquerable sexual attraction to. Now, given that we're talking about the house, this could be like the who, the what, the where, perhaps, in contrast to the characteristics of that particular person that you may feel that inordinate sexual attraction to, even if you're incompatible on other levels. Now, given that this is the 10th house, this could be somebody that might be an older person, more mature, more responsible, very responsible person. It could be even somebody in a position of authority. In some cases, it might be some supervisor or an authority figure, somebody that might simply be very authoritative. It could be somebody that's very career conscious and dominated by their career, their stature in life, and somebody that could be very concerned with their public image, or it could be somebody that simply figures prominently in your own public image and reputation. Now, the thing about this is, I mean, of course, you got to look at the sign as well, because that can modify the influence. I mean, if you have this in Gemini, that could modify things a little bit, because you're talking about, I mean, this could be an older person being in the 10th house, but the fact is, if it's in Gemini, it still be an older person, but somebody that might have a youthful outlook at the same time. So that's an example as how that might manifest and pan out. But anyway, this could also be somebody that figures prominently in your social status, your success in life. If this is in Pisces, say this could be somebody that's very inspirational, perhaps in matters with your success in attaining a certain stature in life. Now, the thing about this too is that this could also be, looking at this, it could be in some cases, it might actually be a Capricorn sun, moon, or ascendant person, but or it might be somebody that embodies those characteristics. Now, and also, I mean, it's really, a lot of it can be about the sign that is in. I mean, say if you have this in a Taurus as an example, that it could be a Taurus sun, moon, or ascendant person, or one that embodies Taurian characteristics and traits. And say if your Eros were to conjunct the sun, the ascendant of that person, that could be more about it. That could reaffirm and reinforce a more physical connection, more about the appearance, and but in the outer characteristics, if it's the moon that your Eros conjuncts in a synastry aspect, that could be more about a connection more on an unconscious or subconscious level. Now, if it's the sun that your Eros conjuncts in synastry, that could be more about the basic character, but perhaps there might be a physical connection to some degree, because the sun can be associated with the physical body, even though the ascendant is what dominates the appearance and the physical body. So anyway, now, Eros in astrology, I mean, can be extremes. I mean, it could be about that energy that we're very infatuated and enamored with, but it could also be about what might be an exceptional turnoff. In some cases, it might be about what we might be really rebuffed by, or will flat out repudiate or reject. Now, given that we're talking about the 10th house in astrology, this could be somebody that might be really dominated by their career. I mean, say if you have like your sun, moon, or ascendant in Cancer, and even if you have a very introverted chart, you have a preponderance of planets below the horizon, in other words, in houses 1 through 6, you might be a very introverted, introspective person, and somebody that might be more dominated by your home interests, and you might be somebody that might not really care for somebody that's really focused on their career, because they might not be home as much for you. Now, anyway, it could also be a person that you might be strongly turned off or rebuffed by. Might be somebody that's overly status conscious, or somebody that's too authoritative, or a person that's really strongly about getting notoriety, recognition, or exposure. Somebody that might be emphasizing or accentuating their stature in life, or somebody that might be a little bit too serious. But of course, you got to flavor blend in the sign as well, because going back to the zodiac sign Gemini, if it's somebody, say if you have it like, or even say Sagittarius could be very effervescent, jovial, and jocular. So if you have Sagittarius, Eros in Sagittarius in the 10th house, that would modify things considerably, I think, as far as the seriousness of this person. So anyway, well, Eros in astrology can also be associated with that, with very strong creative energy and ability. Now, given that we're talking about the 10th house, this energy and ability may be injected in one's career. It could be where it could be it might be reflected in activities with the dominant pair. I mean, say if you have this like in Libra or Taurus as an example, you might be involved in doing artwork with a parent of creative artwork with the dominant parent, which is often the father. If you have this, say, in Aquarius as an example, you might be somebody that may be designing. It could be designing software. It could be in computer software, and your career might be very creative. It could be or doing, I mean, say if this is in Aquarius, it might be somebody that puts a lot of energy, creative energy, into an astrological career, or doing something like with electronics as an example. It could be somebody just simply making certain things out of electronic components that's very creative. It could be too where this is a person that might use their creative prowess and energy to attain notoriety and gain status and recognition, and it could play a very strong, be very pivotal in one's reputation and public image as well. It might be a creative energy might also figure very prominently with authority figures, and if you're somebody that shows very good creative energy in whatever position you may be in, this could actually be very beneficial in getting in good with authority figures, and it could move you up the ladder. Say if you're in a subordinate position, you have an opportunity to ascend to a different level of higher ranking at your particular job. This could be somebody that has a very strong ability to do that, and especially if this is very well aspected. I mean, a good aspect to sextile trine to Jupiter, maybe even a conjunction to Jupiter, could give added luck and fortune, even prosperity in this area. Now, also too, that creative energy and ability might be shown a lot in terms of older people, and even in some kind of business related matter. You might be somebody that shows a lot of creative energy in terms of your business. Again, going back to Libra or Taurus as an example, this could be somebody that might use artwork, I mean, in order, say, of a business to promote it. And also 10th house could be connected like with government politics. So if you're somebody that's like trying to promote some political figure, or you're trying to make fun of the political person's adversary in order to kind of promote your own person that you're supporting, you might be, say if this is in Sagittarius, you might be into like political satire or doing things like making comical depictions. Anyway, you understand what I'm saying. But now, Eros in astrology can also be about what one may have a very powerful exuberance and enthusiasm, even a very strong passion for. Of course, since we're talking about the 10th house, it could be about one's career. It might be attaining ambitions, gaining a certain stature in life. If you have the same zodiac sign Cancer, that could be done with a lot of dedication and devotion. As an example, in Taurus, could be done with a lot of persistence and tenacity in a very methodical manner. Now, could also be in about attaining recognition, notoriety, and exposure. This could be somebody that has a very strong passion, exuberance, and enthusiasm for that. And even matters with the dominant parent, which is often the father. It could even be mentoring. I mean, say if you have this in Aquarius, it might be mentoring like astrology or astronomy or something with computers or electronics. Anyway, and also in attaining one's reputation and also their public image. It could also be somebody that might have a very strong exuberance for business related matters. If you have this in Capricorn as an example, somebody might be very strongly ambitious as well in doing this and being very ambitious in attaining those business like goals, and doing so with a lot of exuberance and enthusiasm and passion as well, and even doing things with older people and attaining perhaps a greater stature in life, and even government work, or if you're in politics or the government work associated with that. So anyway, now as an example, let's say that you have Eros in the 10th house and it makes an adverse aspect to your natal Neptune. Well, you might be somebody where you might have a little conflict between actually acting out on these things that are associated with the creative energy and the things you might have a powerful exuberance and enthusiasm for. It might conflict sometimes with fantasizing or daydreaming. You might feel, more like just kind of some cases like laying around and not feel like you always have the energy in order to get these things done. So those are some ways that this might manifest and pan out. I mean, as an example. Anyway, people, that'll conclude this YouTube astrological segment. Until next time, people, Edwin Learnard saying stay well.